Hey guys, Bud here at Dependable Lawn Care. It's a rainy day in the Ozarks, so no leaf cleanup today. But that's alright because I've actually got a helper spring kit to install on my F-250. So you guys notice the spacing in the front between the tire and the fender well, and then in the back. The back right now is setting about 2 inches lower, and that's just the weight of the trailer. It doesn't have an overload spring or anything like that, any kind of factory helper spring. It's just the factory suspension right now. So I'll show you the kit that I'll be installing. It's simply a helper spring kit that helps the truck to set level when it's under load, but it doesn't affect the height of it when it's not under load. So it's not going to raise the truck up in the rear end and, you know, look funny when the trailer's not hooked up, basically. So unhook the truck from the trailer and move it around here where I can get it on the concrete pad, get a jack under it, and lift it up. Let's show you that kit and we'll get started on it. So basically here's how the helper spring works. So this bottom spring is your factory spring, and then the helper spring has a plate that goes over your U-bolt bracket and the end of the bolts and everything, and then it adds this new leaf pack on top with the U-bolt running down on each end, and basically it just provides extra support for your leaf spring. So essentially it squats less is what it boils down to. Under load it just squats less. So that's what we're adding on. Let me show you the hardware kit. Okay guys, so there's two parts to this kit, and you actually need to order both parts separately. So you have the leaf spring kit minus the hardware. This box is the hardware, and this box actually has the instructions. It has all your U-bolts, nuts and washers, etc. And then it has these two brackets also. So there's assembly required. The package with the leaf springs only has the leaf springs. So just keep that in mind if you're going to order this Hellwig. Now so far what I've seen with the hardware and the leaf springs, everything's powder coated and stainless and looks top notch. I mean, it really looks like good quality stuff, and the instructions are very easy to follow. So as far as tools go, I went through, sorted out the nuts to figure out what all sizes, 9/16, 11/16, 3/4, and 7/8. Now I've got a lot of tools strung out here. I grabbed sockets, I grabbed wrenches, and then I also grabbed my impact and some sockets. So I've got a little bit of everything. Probably not going to need all of that, obviously. So far all I've used was a 9/16 wrench and socket and the 3/4 impact to put all this together. And the next step is to set it in place and position it, and then use the medium and the long U-bolts to get everything mounted up to the leaf spring. So before I do that, I have to jack the truck up by the frame until the tires are just barely touching the ground, and that releases the tension on the leaf spring to make mounting it up easier. So we're going to go ahead and jack that up, get it on jack stands, chock the wheels, of course, set the parking brake, all the safety stuff, and then we'll set the leaf spring in place, and I'll show you what everything looks like in place. Guys, we're back down on the ground, so let me show you real quick how this all works. So you can see up here on the end, you've got your offset hangers. So those go on each end. Every nut gets double nutted, and you notice that this bracket is out past that bottom leaf. Okay, so when you're putting these on, you want to make sure of that on both ends, which it is. Okay, first thing you do while it's lifted up is you put on the center U-bolts and mount it to the factory leaf pack. And then once those are on and tightened up, you put on the outer hangers. And what I did on mine is I just ran them up about 1 inch, and that was where it was making good contact with the leaf spring, and then when you let it down, it tightens up. So what I'm going to do now, after I got it on the ground, I went ahead and double nutted it right where it was at. The more you tighten that, the more assistance it gives in the rear. And I don't want to affect, you know, the ride height or anything when it's not carrying a load. So I stopped right there. So what I'm going to do now is go hook it up to the trailer, and then we'll see how it sits. You remember what it looked like this morning. The distance between the front fender and the front tire, and then the back fender sat about 2 inches lower, and I've got everything parked exactly where it was at before, and now it's all level. So that just makes me happy. I kind of hated to see it squatting. It's not like the load was too heavy for it or anything, but you know, it just, I don't know, it bothers me. I'm just like that, but might not bother other people, but it bothered me. So I've got those helper springs on now. It didn't really change the height. When I went to hook up to the trailer, I think I had jacked the trailer up about a ½ inch farther than where it was at from when I disconnected, so it didn't change the ride height by much at all. But when I let the trailer down on it and it made contact, you know, that's where it really makes a big difference. It just didn't pull everything down like it did before. So I didn't go into a lot of detail on the installation. Really didn't show you guys much at all on the installation, and I apologize for that. But this time of year, it's cold, it's windy, I'm running out of daylight, and honestly, this was a pretty simple, pretty basic kit. It really wasn't hard to install. The instructions only had like 10 steps total, I believe. Super easy to follow, and you know, I mean, really, I'm not a mechanic. I'm just somewhat handy. I know how to swing a wrench and work on things a little bit, but I'm not by no means a mechanic. And this was easy for me to do, so I really think it would be easy for anybody else. If you use Amazon to order these products, you're going to put in your vehicle information, so the year and the size and all of that, and then it will tell you whether or not it fits your vehicle. So you don't even have to have the kit numbers. Somebody will ask, what's the kit number, what's the part number, etc. I'm not even going to give it to you because it's going to be different for every vehicle, unless you're doing this exact year and this exact model. And like I said, order it off of Amazon. It's going to tell you exactly what you need, whether or not it fits. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Get out there and make some money, and we'll catch you on the next one.